It's time to get revenge against Aaron Rodgers. The Chicago Bears will be facing off against the Pittsburgh Steelers at Soldier Field at 12 p.m. this Sunday. Can the Chicago Bears win this game and beat their longtime nemesis? Watch this video to hear my thoughts. What's going on, guys? I'm back with another Chicago Bears pregame prediction video, which I'll be doing before every single Bears game this year. I am back at home in Chicago. I have a little bit of a different setup right now. I don't have my normal stand because I got to get a new one. So that's why I'm a little bit closer to the camera. But regardless, great to be back home in Chicago. And the Bears are currently 7-3, first place in the NFC North. They are definitely surpassing my expectations so far. I had the Bears at 6 wins, I believe, at this point. So I was pretty optimistic, but they're even surpassing my optimistic predictions before this season because they just keep on winning games, man. I mean, they're on a 3-game winning streak. They're finding every way to win a close football game. Last year's staff would probably be like 3-4 with the same team. I mean, Eberflus had no idea how to win a close game to save his life. So the fact that the Bears are 7-3, first place in the NFC North, I don't think a lot of people saw that coming. And it's angering a lot of opposing fan bases, especially NFC North fans. They are so mad that Bears fans are happy at this point in time. They're calling the Bears frauds. They're calling the Bears pretenders, which, guys, as Bears fans, even we can agree this team is probably not going to win the Super Bowl. So I don't know why opposing fan bases are so mad that Bears fans are just simply happy that we are surpassing expectations, that our second-year quarterback, he's looking a lot better. Our offense is top 10 by virtually every metric. The fact that we are finding ways to win games just a season after we found every way to lose a game, Bears fans are allowed to be happy about that. So it's really funny seeing the reaction online, seeing how mad Packers, Lions, and Vikings fans are at the Chicago Bears fan base. But haters gonna hate, guys. We just gotta keep on winning. Now, this game coming up against the Steelers, in my opinion, is an absolute must-win. Not because if we lose this game, we're gonna miss the playoffs. You know, you can afford to lose games now because we are 7-3. It's not a must-win in that sense, but it is a must-win in the sense that I so badly want to send Aaron Rodgers out with the loss. Right now, we're not even sure if Aaron Rodgers is going to play in this game. He suffered an injury in the last game, but it does not require surgery, reportedly. So there's a chance he could play, and I think he's going to be pushing to play because we know how much this guy likes talking trash to Chicago Bears fans, how much success he's had at Soldier Field. This guy has said he owns Chicago Bears fans. He is going to be pushing to play in this game. I can guarantee you guys that. So if he's healthy enough, he is going to play. And oh my God, as a diehard Chicago Bears fan that has had my childhood ruined by this man, I want to send him out with the loss. This is probably one of his last seasons playing in the NFL, probably the last time he'll be playing the Chicago Bears, especially at Soldier Field. So it is imperative that we beat him so he doesn't go out on top. I don't want him to go out thinking that he had the last laugh. I want the Chicago Bears to have the last laugh against Aaron Rodgers. And this season has been all about exorcising the demons of our past. You know, we beat the Commanders this year after the choke last year in the Hail Mary game. We're winning all the close games this year that we choked away the last couple years. Like, we're rewriting all the wrongs of our past, and what better way to continue doing that than by defeating Aaron Rodgers in his last game at Soldier Field. And let me break down this matchup, guys, talking about both sides of the football. First of all, talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers and talking about their offense. They ranked number 12 in points scored per game, number 28 in yards gained per game, number 22 passing attack, and number 29 rushing attack. And if you look at the Steelers offense, a lot of their points are coming off of turnovers because their yards gained per game are not that much. You know, they rank bottom 5 in yards gained per game, offensive yards per game. But if you look at the turnovers their defense forces, that's number 2 in the NFL behind the Chicago Bears. So they're getting a lot of turnovers and scoring a lot of points off of those turnovers. They're super efficient in the red zone, which is one positive about this offense. They are able to punch the ball in for the touchdown when they do get those turnovers and when they are in the red zone. But otherwise, they are lacking in terms of overall offensive firepower. If you look at the year that Aaron Rodgers is having, he's super old, obviously nearing retirement retirement age, but he's having a pretty okay year. If you look at his stats, 1,969 passing yards, 19 passing touchdowns, 7 interceptions, passer rating of 97.7. He's taken 19 sacks, so definitely not horrible numbers, but also not like MVP Rodgers numbers. Rodgers has had much better years in the past because he is getting old. He is declining in terms of his arm talent, in terms of his overall abilities as a quarterback, but there are still a couple moments per game in which he wows you with an Aaron Rodgers throw. This guy, we know him the best as Bears fans. He can get outside the pocket, deliver really accurate balls all over the field. He can, extend plays. Not so much anymore because he is getting older. Again, he's not close to prime Rodgers anymore, but he has a super smart football IQ. He's seen every defense there is to see. He's made every throw there is to make. So this is still a dangerous quarterback, especially going up against a bad Chicago Bears defense that lacks in the secondary. Rodgers could still do some damage in this game. But if you look at the Steelers' weapons, they're pretty lacking in weapons aside from DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf has been pretty solid. If you look at the year he's having, he has 551 receiving yards and 5 receiving touchdowns. He's a big-bodied, explosive receiver going down the field. If Nashawn Wright is guarding him, that's kind of a problem. Or if Tyreek Stevenson's out there, like our cornerbacks right now could struggle against DK Metcalf because he is super big and super physical and super fast as well. But if you look at the weapons behind him, there's not a whole lot. They probably should have kept George Pickens. George Pickens is going off on the Dallas Cowboys, so I'm sure Steelers fans kind of regret that trade. But if you look at their second leading receiver, that's a tight end, Pat Freiermuth, with 279 receiving yards. And he's a guy that every once in a while can make a decent catch over the middle of the field, go forward for some extra yardage. Not elite, but a pretty solid playmaker. If you look at their run game, Jaylen Warren is having an okay year. He has 536 rushing yards. He's averaging 4.4 yards per carry, so not very efficient, but he does have a decent amount of production this year. And yeah, guys, overall, it's not a great offense, I would say. They are scoring decent amount of points, partly because of turnovers, but they do struggle to move the ball down the field in some crucial situations. Going to the Steelers defense then, they rank number 16 in points allowed per game, number 28 in yards allowed per game, number 32 pass defense, number 13 run defense. They are massively underperforming for all the talent on this defense. They're the highest paid defense in the NFL, but they are dead last right now against the pass. They're really bad overall in yards allowed per game. They're a little bit better in the red zone. They're not allowing the most points in the NFL. It's only number 16 they rank in points allowed per game because they're pretty good in the red zone, but they allow teams to get down the field pretty easily, which again, not good for all the money they have invested into this defense. Again, they do have talent on this defense though. If you look at their pass rushing rotation especially, it's full of some pretty big name players. They got TJ Watt, who's always a stud. He has 6 sacks on the year. Nick Herbig has 6.5 sacks. They have Highsmith, they got Keanu Benton as well. So they have highly drafted, big name players that are pretty good against the run. They're really good rushing the passer as well. Sometimes they've been a little bit inconsistent in that regard this year, but I think a lot of their problems are due to how bad the secondary has been in pass defense. Their front seven actually has a good amount of ballers on it, and they could present the Bears offensive line some problems at some points in this game. So Caleb has to be able to get rid of the football fast or evade sacks, which Caleb is really good at doing that. So I got faith that Caleb will be able to avoid sacks, but they do have some studs in the pass rushing room. But yeah, their pass defense has been so bad. They're allowing the most yards through the air in the NFL, which is not good. When they traded for Jalen Ramsey, when they have some other guys on the secondary that should be performing better, they're not performing good whatsoever. So it's a very, attackable Steelers defense, I would say. Switching over to the Bears, though, let's talk about their offense. First of all, they rank number 8 in points scored per game, number 4 in yards gained per game, number 13 passing offense, number 2 rushing offense. And something I want to talk about with this Bears offense is that Colston Loveland has really settled into his role on this team. It took half the season, but he has settled down into a top playmaker now on the Chicago Bears receiving core. Okay, he has 329 receiving yards and 2 receiving touchdowns on the season, the vast majority of which came in the past couple weeks. So he's making some big time catches over the middle of the field in crucial situations, like on 3rd and long. On multiple occasions he has came down with a big catch and got an extra yardage. After that, he got the big touchdown against the Bengals to help the Chicago Bears win that game. He has such a tremendous athletic profile in which he's so like slender for the tight end position. Like he kind of reminds me of those like elite pass catching tight ends like a Travis Kelce, like a Brock Bowers. I'm not saying he's as good as those guys, but in terms of playing style, a little bit similar, right? Because he can block, but he's a really good receiver. He can get a lot of yards after the catch because of all the moves he can put on you in the open field. So really happy to see Colston Loveland really be an integral part of this offense, because he is the Bears' third leading receiver now on this team in terms of receiving yards. So a lot of good stuff from Colston Loveland. If you look at the Bears offense right now, one area where they can improve is efficiency in the red zone. They've not really been good there as of late. They score a touchdown 54.29% of the time in the red zone, which ranks 20th in the NFL. Got to be a lot better there if you want to be a playoff team. When you're by the goal line, you got to be able to punch the ball in and score a touchdown. Field goals are not going to help you beat the best teams in football. It works against teams like the Vikings, whose offense is really struggling right now because of JJ McCarthy, but against a better offense, you got to score touchdowns, which to be fair, they have before, like against the Bengals, but it's all about the consistency. It's all about working out the kinks, and right now the Bears are growing every single week, but they can continue getting better in terms of the red zone efficiency. And lastly, I do want to talk about all the trick plays that Ben Johnson's running, because it seems like every week now he has at least a few trick plays in which there's like wacky personnel. Like in the last game, he had Tyson Bagent out there for a couple snaps. In games prior, we've had like flea flickers. We've had Caleb, catching a touchdown. We've had DJ Moore passes. Like Ben Johnson is going to bring out the trick plays this season. And he's really, bringing out a lot more of them because our base offense is working now. Okay. Our base offense is able to move the ball down the field, which is why we can even, go into the bag of tricks. So in this game, I would look out for Ben Johnson to maybe again do some trick plays with different personnel, with maybe an offensive lineman, maybe a quarterback catching a touchdown. That could always happen when Ben Johnson is your play caller. And then finally, talking about the Bears defense, they rank number 26 in points allowed per game, number 27 in yards allowed per game, number 23 pass defense, number 25 run defense. And the big storyline with the Bears defense is when Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon are coming back. Both of them have been designated to return from injured reserve by the Chicago Bears. So that means they're eligible to be activated at any point. They are practicing. I'm not sure of their practice status on Thursday. I'm recording this video Thursday morning, so I have not seen the injury report yet. But if both of them are practicing fully somehow, like both of them could play in this game, but that's probably way too early. I don't think they're going to return this week. It might be the following week against the Eagles, or maybe the week against the Packers. Like, I have no idea, but there is a tiny chance at least that they could play in this game, especially Jalen Johnson. Jalen was eligible to be activated last week, and we'll see what his practice status is this week. Maybe he somehow miraculously is healthy enough to play, and he sees a game against Aaron Rodgers and he's like, oh, I got to pick Aaron Rodgers off one last time. Maybe that happens, and if that's the case, like, it would be so nice to get Jalen back, because we are struggling right now at the cornerback spot. Tyreek Stevenson has had his ups and downs. He's been better this year, but still, he's not a top cornerback in this league. Nashawn Wright has been getting cooked over and over and over again. I will give him credit on getting the interceptions, because he has 4 interceptions on the year, which is pretty fantastic to get 4 picks and, basically lead the NFL almost in interceptions. But he's not good in coverage, guys. Like, that's why he's getting thrown at a lot. That's why he's getting interception opportunities. It's because he's so bad in coverage. So hopefully Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon can return back sometime soon. CJ Gardner-Johnson has been a fantastic acquisition, but we need our top 2 guys back really soon. The best part, though, about the Bears defense, even though they allow a lot of yards per game, is that they turn the ball over at a historic rate. Okay, right now the top 3 leaders in the NFL for interceptions are all Chicago Bears. It's Kevin Byard, Tremaine Edmonds, and Nashawn Wright. I think Byard has 5, and then Edmonds and Nashawn Wright have 4, which is fucking insane, guys. I mean, like, especially Nashawn Wright being up there, and to get 3 Chicago Bears up there is freaking fantastic. And that is helping the Chicago Bears win games. Like, even though their defense is really struggling big time in terms of allowing big plays down the field, in terms of coverage in the secondary, they are able to turn the ball over. So credit to Dennis Allen for really enforcing that turnover mentality and getting the most out of these players when it comes to turning the ball over. But with that being said, let me get to my 3 keys to Bears victory. How can the Chicago Bears win this game at home? And key number 1 is going to be to punish Aaron Rodgers with a steady pass rush. You do not want to give Aaron Rodgers time in the pocket. We have done that so many times in the past as a Chicago Bears team, and that's why he has destroyed us. Usually the Packers offensive line has been elite, and we have allowed him a lot of time to just dink and dunk his way, or like even make big chunk plays down the field. He is so good as a passer. So if you want to beat Aaron Rodgers, you got to find a way to get pressure on this dude, get him down into the dirt, hit him. I mean, he's an old guy. I'm not saying to injure him, but like hit him hard. Make sure he feels the hits. You don't want to allow him to be comfortable in this game and just have all the time to destroy us down the field like he has always done on the Green Bay Packers. Key number 2 then is going to be to have deep play consistency from the passing offense of the Chicago Bears. Okay, the Steelers defense is allowing a lot of big plays down the field. They rank number 32 against the pass. So Caleb has to be consistent in this game. He has to be on point. He has to nail the deep plays that Ben Johnson calls for him, because this could be a massive game from Caleb with how badly the Steelers defense has struggled at points this season. Then finally, key number 3 is going to be to have extra attention on DK Metcalf. DK is the one guy in this Steelers receiving core that does scare me. He's a guy that could go off for 100 plus receiving yards with how bad our secondary has been at times in coverage. So you gotta be sure to bracket him, do what you can to make sure he's not comfortable in this game, and at least give our cornerbacks a little bit of help, you know, with DK, so he's not going off for like 150, 200 plus receiving yards in this game. And finally, it's time for my score prediction. Who do I have winning this matchup? And guys, I have the Chicago Bears going to Soldier Field, beating Aaron Rodgers by a score of 28-24. Okay, I do think, again, it's going to be a close and competitive game because the Steelers are a winning football team. They have a winning record. Currently, the Bears have not beaten a team with a winning record, I believe. So, like, that's why a lot of people hate on the Chicago Bears. But, you know, the Steelers have also had their struggles this year. So, I do think the Bears are capable of beating them, especially with how bad the Steelers' defense has been in terms of allowing big plays down the field. I think the Bears' offense can find success in this game, especially being at home. And I think that Rodgers, he's going to have a pretty decent game because our defense is not really good right now. But I do think, you know, we can force him hopefully into one interception at least, and maybe a couple other mistakes, and just get him a little bit uncomfortable so he's not torching our defense for 30 plus. I think that is possible, you know, again, with all the turnovers we've been forcing as a defense. So I do think the Bears get it done at home. They are favorites entering this game against Aaron Rodgers, a player that every Bears fan hates. He's going to be booed like crazy in this game. I think the Bears can get it done at the very end. It's going to be close in the fourth quarter, but right now I have so much faith in this Bears team to pull it through with a close game. You know, if it's going to be a tie game in the fourth quarter, Caleb Williams or somebody on the Bears offense is going to make a play to help the Chicago Bears win this game. My offensive MVP of this game is going to be Caleb Williams. I think he has 300 passing yards and 2 passing touchdowns in this game. Hopefully no picks. Fingers crossed. He's been good at not turning the ball over as of late. So hopefully that continues in this game. As for my defense MVP, got to go with Montez Sweat. I have Montez Sweat getting 1.5 sacks and hopefully just being a monster all night long and really getting into the face of Aaron Rodgers. But yeah, leave your predictions down below. What do you guys think is going to happen in this game? There's a chance that Rodgers does not play in this game, which I did not even talk about their backup quarterback, Mason Rudolph. I probably should have done that, but you know, I'm assuming Rodgers is going to play because against the Chicago Bears at Soldier Field, you know he wants to play badly in this game. So I do think he's going to be out there. I do think Bears fans are going to get the chance to boo him one last time, and hopefully we can send Rodgers out with the loss before he retires. Leave your comments down below. As always, bear down.